Well, we are 6 million Muslims here. In the Islamic studies departments, on any campus, we see Hindus teaching Islam. We see Buddhists teaching Islam. We see Christians teaching Christianity and Islam. We see Jews teaching Judaism. We don't see Muslims teaching Islam. Hundreds of graduates leave campus every year with misconceptions about Islam. Now here we are. We're going to go open wide to the non-Muslim community. We'll have our families in slots. Each family will go and visit another family or 2 or 3 or 4 to convert them. And here on the other side, we have hundreds of graduates leaving campus every year with these misconceptions. What are we doing? Are we really organizing our movement or not? So you need to work with intellectuals. You need to work with academicians because they control the way people perceive things. There's not one Muslim. I've asked and I've taken votes and I've asked before and they said, well, about four in all of the United States, maybe 4 Muslims teach. Well, we need to make that a law. We need to introduce to the politicians that no one has the right to represent my faith except me. We need to do that. Misinformation and misconception, and we go out there teaching the non-Muslims about, no, this is not a stereotype. The correct form is this and this. We want to work positively. We want to have courses, and we want to have curriculums, and we want to have people respect us through academia. These people are the ones that are being put in high positions as analysts, political analysts, philosophical analysts, and they bring them here on TV, and you just keep watching them analyzing. Who gave them the authority to do that on our behalf? When they talk about the Middle East or about Islam, who gave them the authority to do that? We did, because we're sitting there watching them and not doing anything about it. Now let's talk also about another thing that bothers me a lot, which is in ethnic studies, we're 6 million Muslims. In the ethnic studies department, or any department on any campus, okay, related to ethnic studies, they do not acknowledge or recognize the Islamic minority of 6 million as a minority that could be taught in a minority course. So what does that mean? I mean, we're not recognized. Why aren't we recognized? And we know that we've already had representatives go all the way up to Congress. There's Muslim representatives now, and we've given our vote to the current president because he had an agenda that is, well, at least morally and spiritually stable, and that could also aid our values, help our values out. But we're not using that opportunity. We know that it's there, but we're not using it. And in 4 years, or maybe less, lobbying is going to start, and new type of campaigns are going to start, and we have not done anything. So we need to move really fast, because if we want to have an agenda that could change things around for our own benefit and bring us closer to our fellow non-Muslims, we're going to have to do something about changing curricula and the attitudes on campuses. That cannot be done by one person, and it cannot be done by one organization, and it needs to be done by a coalition of Muslims to change things around. The third area is the area of gender studies. All women's studies programs on all campuses in the US are funded by secular feminists to promote the gay and lesbian culture. I've been invited to many of them. And I was not invited, first I was invited to give a positive input and to tell them our perspective. As time went by and I was re-invited to give a talk there, I found that they're ridiculing Islam. That is an advancement on their part. Because after they had used us to know what we think, now they are using us to ridicule us, you see? And that is terrible. Are we barred now? The youth generation that's coming up, they're very energetic. They go there and study. They get their degrees. They want to be accepted in the job market. What have we done as parents for those youth? Nothing. If something like the women's studies programs is closed up to them and they cannot go in there and teach a women's studies course that shows the achievements of Muslim women and their movement and the figures that are there throughout history and the leaders, and combat all the kinds of stereotyping by showing the positive input of Muslims throughout history. What do we expect? What do we expect? They're not going to be able to do that. The job is close to them. So we need to do something about it. We need to change that so that the job market is open wide. And this is America. This is the country of the free and the brave. This is the country, the one nation under God. Which God? I'm asking you, which God? So it's one God. So we need to use that for our own benefit. These are three areas. And actually, if we start from the bottom up, from elementary school up to junior high and high school, and then go to the university level, we need to penetrate these areas in order to have a positive input Islamically, and that, to me, is the best way of making dawah. It's going to cut short on the stereotyping that's running haywire in the country, and we're going to stop defending ourselves, and we're going to change minds, change attitudes. People write papers and do reports, and they have books out, and they have references. And imagine if all the university libraries now are using those books in their own curricula. You see, this has to be changed. And I don't know why, although there has been a lot of dawah work done in this country for Islam, people have not considered academia. Just because there are not many Muslims there teaching, they need to know that it's a dangerous situation, and they need to go and do something about it. So please, if you're interested in the movement forward and thrust to change American society, kindly fill out the survey. It's very important that I go home with that survey. And give me your email for Win America so I can recontact you. I've already given out several surveys on the West Coast, and I've gotten very excellent input from sisters. What is your vision if you want to be in Congress? What kind of bills or what kind of initiatives do you want to see there? So you need to have a vision. Everybody needs to work on it. So crystallize your vision on paper so that people can get that, and then inshallah, God willing, when we have a coalition of organizations, we can work together towards change. Okay, and also give me your email. And there's a little bit of the book left, and I hope that you can pick it up and buy it as last night. You've been so generous. Jazakumullah khairan for listening, and forgive me for any shortcomings.